Into this form of BQ conversations, Dalmia Cement has announced signing a binding framework agreement for acquisition of about 9.5 million tons per annum cement capacity from Jayprakash Associates at an EV of about 5,670 odd crores. If this fructifies, it will enable Dalmia to expand its footprint into the central region and probably add one more region to its vision of emerging as a pan-India cement player. But it's not just about what this means for Dalmia Bharat. It's also about the fact that now we are seeing heightened instances of M&A activity in the cement space, something that our guest today on the show, Rakesh Arora, alluded to. And therefore, in today's conversation, I want to understand as much as to what it means for Dalmia as the implications for the cement space at large. Rakesh, great having you. Thanks for joining in. As always, when things come to cement or steel, we love talking to you. So thanks for doing that today.
Thank you.
So, what do you make of, with an assumption that this deal goes through, Rakesh? What do you make of what this deal means for Dalmia?
So, see, Dalmia is largely a South India and East India company, and they are trying to improve their footprint across and become a pan-India. And most of the pan-Indian cement companies get much higher valuation as compared to a regional play. So, Dalmia is working to that same strategy. And in central India, there's limited limestone available. So to that extent, this is a crucial asset, and everybody who could look at it had looked at this asset. And also, this area caters to that Bimaru states, Bihar, Uttar Pradesh, but they are now all growing much faster than rest of India. So from that aspect, also, the growth is going to be much better. So it's a crucial asset to own, and limestone plus the markets make it a very good combination for Dalmia.
So most notes that I read suggested that this helps it become its ambitions of the pan-India player. We've been talking ever since the Adani Ambuja deal happened that the market will consolidate, will see the formation of 2 or 3 large players. In Ultratech, in the Adani Group, and in Shree Cement, we had 3 large players known. Does this make now the advent, or not the advent really, but the possibility of a 4th very large player out there in the market as well over the longer term?
Yeah, meaning, see, the tail is very long in cement industry, but top 4-5 players are going to dominate in terms of growth going forward. And so Dalmia was already a significant player with 36 million ton capacity. So it was not a small player. And they were very ambitious from the day one. So it's nothing new.
Okay. I think I seem to have lost the connection with Rakesh Arora. Maybe what we will try and do, or at least I'm not even. Yeah, Rakesh, sorry, I lost the connection with you.
My internet was unstable, but I've changed it now, so I should be okay.
Okay, yeah, please. So you were saying they were always known to be an ambitious player.
Yeah, so they were already in the fray, and now since things have hotted up a little bit with Adani's entry, there's a little bit of fear of missing out also probably. So that could have also played, and we will see a lot of announcements coming in, both organic and inorganic. People will try to scramble and gain market share as fast as possible. So that thing is going to happen, and it's going to play out here.
Got it. But the deal itself, Rakesh, has been done at decent valuations, you think, from a Dalmia perspective? And what does it mean for, one is the market access that they get. 2, what does it mean from somebody who's invested or contemplating investing in a Dalmia cement perspective?
So, see, Dalmia has been doing these kind of deals for last 2-3 years now. So initially they bought into another company called Murli Industries at a very low valuation. It was a 3 million ton plant. They bought at 400 crores. But all these cheap, acquisitions. The second one they did was Kalyanpur Cement, and now this. All these are cheap acquisitions, but they all come with certain issues which needs to be resolved. Like Murli Industries didn't have any, limestone. the best limestone mine which Murli Industries could have used was won by Ambuja Cement in auction. So I'm not pretty sure how much limestone is available for Murli Industries. Kalyanpur Cement again was like a very old plant, and nobody was looking at it. Dalmia bought it. Now this asset was looked at by Ultratech, by Shri, by Adani, and everybody rejected it. And Dalmias have bought it, so clearly there are certain issues here also. Now, technically these plants are okay, but there could be issues in terms of limestone at Riva plant, because Riva plant is a very old plant. I think more than 30-40 years. So I don't know how much limestone is still left out there. Number two is that it's still an NPA kind of situation at Jayaprakash. So we don't even know what kind of cross guarantees or collaterals have been given. So there could be few more things coming out, because from what I understand, one of the biggies left the deal because Jayaprakash could not give them NOC from the creditors. So that could be another option, issue that one has to watch out for. So I would think that it will take some time before this deal is concluded, and if it happens, it's a good deal, because the location and as we discussed, limestone availability at one of the plant is very high. So, and at this valuation, you have nothing to lose.
Got it. Thanks for that insight, Rakesh. Now, the other question, therefore, as to what about the space at large? There is a lot of chatter. I've read at least 4 sell-side reports. A couple of buy-side managers in conversations spoke about how post-November, that is starting December onwards, we might see some bit of pricing action. We might see, there's a Philip Capital note which spoke about how promoters are now really ramping up on efficiencies on the supply chain side in order to improve profitability metrics, so on and so forth. So what's your sense, Rakesh? You were constructive on the space when the first signs of the Ambuja Adani deal happened. Post the consummation, you were even more bullish on the space at large with select players. Now that we are on the throes of some price hikes, some bit of capex, etc., but at the same time, we are also seeing reports of how road construction activity, etc., may slow down a bit because of financial issues at NHA and otherwise. What's your sense on the cement space?
So I think we were bullish for last almost 8-9 months now, and this got derailed a little bit because government was so much focused on inflation fighting that they didn't allow for pass-through of cost increase. And now that the pressure is abated, and cement companies have already started taking price hikes, so margins will be restored to the levels of 1,000-1,200 where they were pre this energy price surge. So and seasonally also we are getting into a busy season, and last few months cement demand growth has been in closer to double digit. So demand is also looking pretty good, but people might get confused with announcement on capacity expansion and pricing. There's no connect out there. Pricing are going to stay at a certain level, and demand supply balance may not really change it materially.
Okay.
So I'm not worried. There will be a huge amount of announcements coming in, because as we were discussing, there will be a little bit of fear of missing out. There will be one-man-upmanship. People will announce bigger capexes. Then they will actually do. Like Dalmia has also announced they'll do 110 million ton by 2031. There's no need for that kind of announcement, But people are going to do those kind of big number announcements. But it has got nothing to do with the demand supply. Dalmia itself is operating at 61% capacity utilization right now. What is the need for capex? You tell me. You can go to 80, 85 easily. So they will be preempting their competitors, but nobody's going to stop. There will be a lot of announcement on capacity creation. But I think, as in my previous interaction with you, I told you that cement prices move up in a step-up fashion.
Yes.
Those step-ups happen because of cost increase. This time the cost increase was materially because from coal prices, and now cement prices have kind of averaged above 400 rupees per bag. It's not going to come down from that level in a hurry. So margins are going to expand from the levels where they were in the last 4-5 years, maybe 200-300 rupee higher. And that is why we were bullish on cement sector, and nothing changes from all this. Um, on the contrary, I think any dips which happen because of these capacity expansion announcements, I think those should be utilized to buy into this sector.
My final question, Rakesh, if indeed larger companies are going to want to enhance capacities, maybe not at the same pace as the announcements, but still we want to, do you reckon it places some of the smaller players in a sweet spot? Or do the valuations at which some of the recent deals may have happened or could happen would mean that there might be appetite for the smaller companies, but they'll only happen at a particular price and not higher? How do you read into it?
So the thing is that there are two set of companies. One are well-run companies who benefit from rising cement prices and rising margins. They are not going to sell out. The ones which are available for sale are the shitty companies which are not doing that well. And as you saw in this particular transaction, Ultratech, Adani, Shree, they have refrained from taking this asset. So they are sensible about what they want, what they don't want. Meaning they are willing to pay for Ambuja and ACC top dollars, but they're not willing to pay even $69-$70 for this asset. So that tells you there's a differentiation. So going after smaller names may not really actually play out. You have to stick with the larger companies which are consolidating, which are going to grow. And there could be small pops here and there on smaller companies, but it's not really worth it.
Got it. Rakesh, always great to understand from you the nitty-gritties. Same today. Thank you so much for sharing the time.
Thank you so much, Neil. Thank you.
And viewers, thanks for tuning into this conversation.